We have two relationship stories for you from the world of Reddit. For our first story, we have a couple who broke up, but when one of them wants to get back together, things get messy because the other has gone out and started a family. For our second story, we have a man who reunites with an old friend, only to hook up with his wife soon after. To find out how these stories end, get yourself a coffee and grab a bowl of popcorn so we can get into it.
Tina, my ex, showed up after walking out on our relationship 2.5 years ago. She was pouring her heart out to me about how she messed up by leaving me. We dated for 6 months and it was amazing until it wasn't. She asked for a break and didn't give me a reason, so I decided to completely break up with her. We continued talking, but when COVID happened, we weren't able to see each other due to close family members not being well. As time went on, our conversations faded and she eventually moved on, as did I. This brings us to the present day when she decided to come back into my life explaining everything. The thing is, I have a new girlfriend and a child. I've always felt connected to Tina, so her taking the blame for how things ended and pouring her heart out about me being a good man, and the one for her, felt satisfying. I felt like I did everything I was supposed to do in a relationship, and she confirmed it. Tina doesn't live in my town, but I agreed to see her anytime she was in the area. I know this was a horrible decision, but I felt like what we had was unfinished, so I entertained it. Tina was so adamant on having me back in her life, she even said she'd do poly just so she can be with me. My current girlfriend and the mother of my child, Debbie, found out about us by going through my phone. We ended up separating because she didn't want to be a part of any poly relationship. Even though we're separated, we do everything we need to do as parents for our child. Debbie's trying to get me back on the same page, telling me that she wants me back, even after I cheated. After about a month, me and Tina started talking less, but I was still torn between the two people I have feelings for. In the end, I decided to try things with Debbie again, doing whatever I could to make everything better. I completely cut Tina out of my life and snapped back to reality. I've since come to find out that Debbie entertained another guy while all this was going on. His name's Sam. I understand why she did what she did, and in the end, we came to an agreement to be together. I cut ties with Tina, and Debbie would cut ties with her new friend. 2 months go by, and I haven't been in contact with Tina, but Debbie sometimes brings her up for no reason. I don't give her a reason to bring up Tina, and she's even brought her up while we were having fun in the bedroom. It was a total turn-off and resulted in us having a massive fight. TVs were broken, as was some furniture. I've been doing my best to show Debbie that I'm all about her, but the day after our fight, she went to see Sam, the guy she was seeing when we separated. The thing is, she'd already been talking to him for 2 weeks. I felt cold inside. I didn't even yell at her. I just felt like I was stepped on because I've been giving her my all, and she didn't follow through with our agreement of leaving these people in the past. I don't know what to do in this situation. I've been trying to push through, trying to see if I will get back the feelings I had for her, but so far, nothing.
What a load of nonsense. After breaking up with a girl he only dated for 6 months, OP allowed her to come back into his life and destroy everything he was building in one fell swoop. Usually, I have sympathy for people who get cheated on, but not today. This relationship was doomed when OP cheated on the mother of his child, completely destroying the trust in their relationship. This isn't to say that I agree with Debbie cheating on OP, but this whole thing was compromised when he let his ex back into his life. The saddest thing about this whole situation is that there's a child involved, and neither parent seems to have sound decision-making abilities. Anyway, let's find out what the people had to say in the comments.
Horror, Newt says, OP's pretty dumb. Seriously, dude fell for the same user and her sob story twice. OP, having a kid and family is hard. Stop thinking the grass is greener somewhere else. If I were the mother of your child, I would never trust you again, never go back to you, and get every penny of child support I could squeeze from you. Tony says, none of this would have happened if you stayed true to your current commitment. If you're that hung up on a 6-month relationship from years ago, you shouldn't have been dating anyone else. You're not dependable. You're feeling a fraction of what your girlfriend felt when you cheated. You've blown up your family. Either commit to your girlfriend or go back to Tina so you don't ruin more lives. I'm sorry your son has to grow up like this.
These Redditors are 100% correct. OP needs to sort out his priorities moving forward.
I was friends with this guy in school, but it had been about 8 years since I last saw him. I randomly bumped into him one day at the gas station and we had a chat. He opened up about struggling with depression and how he thought his wife was cheating on him because she went out drinking a lot. Over the next few days, we were texting each other, and that weekend, I went to my job as a bouncer in the local town. I was working the door on my own because it was a quiet bar, and the owner was an ex-boxer and gypsy, so would always back me up if anything happened. He's much scarier than me, to be honest. Anyway, this woman and her friends come in, and she's all over me from the minute she arrives. She asks me to come to the bathroom with her, but I refuse because I can't leave the door unattended. In the end, we exchange numbers, but I don't think much of it. Bouncers get hit on every night. When the club closes, she waits for me outside, and we go back to my car where she gives me a blowjob. A few minutes into it, her phone goes off, and she answers it. She lies to the person on the phone, saying she's at a friend's house and will be home soon. Instant alarm bells start going off. She hasn't even stopped servicing me, as she's still going while waiting for a reply. She soon hangs up, looks at me and says, "Sorry, that's just my husband." I was shocked. I noticed the ring and felt like a jerk, but I was already past the point of no return. I finished, and she didn't let a single drop go to waste. After that, she got a taxi home. I did offer to drive her, but she refused. A few days later, I get a friend request on Facebook from my old friend. I add him and click on his profile picture, and it's a picture of him and his wife on their wedding day. I recognized her instantly. I thought about telling him, but the problem is, they have kids together, and it would cause me a lot of trouble if it came out. He seems to have recovered from his depression and is now an activist for men's mental health and promotes a local mental health group. We've messaged, and he said he's doing so much better. Their relationship is solid, and he trusts her, but it's so heartbreaking for me.
I will preface this by saying, I don't know if this story is real or fake, as the coincidence level is quite high. That said, strange things happen every day. In any case, this is a heartbreaking story, and I feel terrible for the husband who's completely in the dark about all this. It's possible that he's on Reddit reading this story and has no idea that it's about him. Since a lot of people get cheated on and have no idea, this really could be any one of us. The majority of comments on Reddit are regarding whether this story's real or not, but I'll leave that for you guys to discuss. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of Coffee and Popcorn, and I can't wait to see you on the next one.